Alright guys, we've got a lot of Forsaken news, and today I'm gonna tell you about the new character Schmidley, the new Guest 666 concept, and the huge dev team drama. But before we start, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe and drop a like, because it's really hard for me to make these videos. I won't talk for too long. Let's get straight into it. Recently on YouTube, a fan-made video was released where Mr. Purple showcased a new skin concept for Guest 666. The video immediately grabbed attention. The model, animations, and visual effects were all presented in detail, and even though it's fan-made, it looks incredibly polished and atmospheric. On the wave of this hype, another impressive fan concept appeared: the Witherstorm skin for Forsaken. And it's absolutely worth seeing. Witherstorm is a legendary monster from Minecraft story mode and mods, but in this version, it's completely reimagined for Forsaken. It no longer looks like a blocky giant. Instead, it feels like a living dark organism, filled with destructive energy. Its body is covered in glowing purple cracks that pulse and shimmer, giving the impression of a continuous internal flow of power. The tentacles move independently, responding to the environment and seeming almost alive. Its eyes are bright and cold, piercing through the darkness, while every animation emphasizes the creature's massive, destructive presence. The animations, crafted with care, really bring Witherstorm to life. In its idle animation, the body subtly pulses and the tentacles sway as if sensing its surroundings. When it moves, it feels heavy, as if each step presses down on the space around it. Its attacks are devastating. One involves a tentacle snapping forward, leaving a glowing purple trail, while another shows the chest opening to reveal a core of energy that seems to absorb everything nearby. The ultimate attack has multiple tentacles striking simultaneously from above, creating an overwhelming sense of unstoppable force. The fan-made version of Witherstorm fits perfectly into Forsaken's dark and chaotic world. It's not just a character. It's a force of destruction. Slow, deliberate, and overwhelmingly powerful. The creature has an internal rhythm that makes it feel alive. Even when standing still, it dominates its surroundings, and the skin conveys a sense of growth and consumption, as if it's constantly expanding and absorbing everything around it. Ultimately, the fan concepts by Mr. Purple for Guest 666 and Witherstorm show how talented creators can craft full-fledged legends within Forsaken. These aren't just skins, they're experiences. They deliver atmosphere, storytelling, and an overwhelming sense of power that players can feel instantly. We've got a surprisingly intriguing teaser to go over. And honestly, this one might turn out to be a much bigger deal than it first appears. Not long ago, a strange post showed up in the Forsaken Discord. Vest shared an odd-looking image in the sub-announcements channel. At first, it seemed like a harmless joke, just Taff with silly googly eyes slapped onto a bright red background. But there's more to it than that. If you look closely through the red filter, you can make out the faint outline of another character hidden behind it. It's barely visible, almost as if the developers intentionally tried to conceal it. But once you spot the shape, it becomes impossible to ignore. And that shadowed figure strongly resembles someone the community has been discussing for quite some time: Schmidley. For anyone unfamiliar, Schmidley originally started as a massive community meme. People joked that he was some abandoned or secret killer lurking deep within the game's files, something the devs had created and forgotten about. The meme grew so large that the developers eventually acknowledged it, and things only escalated from there. Awaken, one of Forsaken's modelers, even produced a complete, polished model for Schmidley, complete with animations. It wasn't some rough prototype. It looked fully ready for release. Because of this, many players assumed Forsaken was planning to officially add him to the game. But after the model reveal, the developers went completely silent. There were no updates or mentions for over a month, causing most people to believe that Schmidley had either been shelved or was never more than a fun community joke. Then came the Halloween announcement. The team confirmed that a special skin would be coming on the 28th, and suddenly all the old Schmidley theories came back to life. Fans immediately started connecting everything: the timing, the theme, and the fact that Schmidley already had a fully prepared model. And now, this new teaser from Vest adds even more fuel to the fire. Although the image was framed as a goofy post, the hidden silhouette feels far too intentional to be random. The devs didn't need to include anything behind Taff, but they chose to add a subtle figure that the community would instantly recognize once they spotted it. Taking all the hints together, the timing, the previous model reveal, and this newly discovered outline, it genuinely seems likely that Schmidley could be the Halloween skin scheduled for release on the 28th. Everything's already in place. The model is finished, the animations exist, the community loves the character, and the developers clearly enjoy teasing him. If Schmidley does turn out to be the upcoming skin, this might end up being one of the most exciting and memorable releases Forsaken has had in quite a while. There's been a major situation brewing, and it escalated to the point where the Forsaken development team had to make a public statement about it. Recently, it was revealed that someone on the dev team was still communicating with Soul. And it wasn't just any team member, it was Kaiser, a person who has made significant contributions to Forsaken over the years. Their conversations were described as casual and friendly, as if everything between them had gone back to normal. Naturally, this created a huge uproar. Everyone is well aware of Soul's reputation and the massive harm he's done, not only to individuals but to the project itself. His actions nearly brought Forsaken to complete collapse, so the idea that anyone currently working on the game would willingly reconnect with him came as a genuine shock. But the story gets even more concerning. When someone discovered that Kaiser had been messaging Soul, they reported it to Basil, one of Forsaken's owners, and the reasonable expectation would be a strict response: demotion, suspension, or at minimum, a serious warning. Instead, Basil responded by saying she didn't care, adding that Kaiser was free to talk to whoever he wanted. Honestly, that reaction is astonishing. Basil is one of the people responsible for the very project that Soul almost destroyed. Yet her stance was essentially indifference toward a developer maintaining contact with him. When I first saw those messages, I assumed they had to be fake because the response seemed so baffling. Then came an even bigger twist. Basil admitted that Kaiser wasn't the only staff member involved. Several moderators had also been in touch with Soul. And what's worse, she already knew about it and still didn't view it as an issue. I've defended the Forsaken dev team many times. But in this case, there's no defending what happened. Situations like this must be handled with utmost seriousness. Soul isn't just a random ex-member. He caused enormous damage and should have absolutely no connection to anyone working on the game. Fortunately, after the community reacted strongly, the situation was finally addressed. Kaiser was removed from the dev team, and the moderators who had also been speaking with Soul were taken off the staff. At least the final outcome was the correct one, but it should never have taken widespread backlash to get there. That covers everything in this update. If you enjoyed this overview, please make sure to like the video and subscribe for more detailed content like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.